So the Never Too Much documentary about the life and times of Luther Vandross is out, and people seem to love it. Everybody loves Luther, and it seems like that documentary is great. But when you start thinking about classic Luther Vandross songs, like his magnus opus is probably Hasanada Home and Superstar. That's the song where people get to, when they start impersonating Luther Vandross, they get that. That's what every impersonation of Luther Vandross, I think, comes from that song. A Chad, still a Chad. All of it comes from that song, right? And it's the perfect mashing. I don't know how he even came up with the idea of taking the Carpenters, sang by the great Karen Carpenter's Superstar, and mashing it with Dionne Warwick's House Is Not a Home, written by Burt Bacharach, co-written by Burt Bacharach, and smash those songs together. It is brilliant. If you've never seen that video before of him in concert singing those two tracks together, it is fantastic, right? But the issue is, if that's his best song for me, what is his second best song? And there's so many contenders. Like you can't go wrong on any Luther Vandross song that's number 2. But for me, it's If This World Were Mine, the duet he does with Cheryl Lynn. And it's one of those tracks. Okay, there's 2 reasons why I like this track so much. So back in college, I was a DJ. I was DJ at WZIP-FM at the great University of Akron. And at one point, I was also the music director. And we had these carts. So today, you guys, if you are DJing in college, you just press a button. It's all digital downloads. But back in the day, we had these carts, which looks like 8 tracks. And we would use these carts that have all these songs on it. And you would press, put the carts in the machine, you press the button, all that stuff. So we had different sets of carts. We had white and green and orange. White was the songs we had to play that was on the playlist. Green is kind of like, we should be playing it, but I'm not going to penalize you if you don't. And orange is like fair game. But the orange carts were all classic R&B, funk, just old school stuff. Great. I love the orange carts. But one of those songs on the orange carts, when my crew came in, when the young folks took over for the old cats, one of those songs was If This World Were Mine by Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn. That song is timeless. It didn't matter if it was the old school cats playing it or the new school cats playing it. That song, people love hearing that song. And then when you watch, if you see this photo, this is like the original old school Luther. This before the tease, Jerry curl Luther Vandross. This is still the coarse cropped. I'm still trying to make it. I don't know how to pay my rent, but I got this sparkly jacket looking Luther Vandross. I'm trying to be a star, baby. Luther Vandross. But the chemistry between those two is magnificent. And the brilliance of this song, I don't even want to see the visual. The brilliance of just hearing that song and them singing together. You feel like they're an actual couple. You know they weren't. But it's just the feel that they had. Like, it was tenderness in their vocals. It was a love in their vocals. It was brilliant. And that song was a remake by Tammi, Terrell, and Marvin Gaye, written by Marvin Gaye. The thing about Marvin Gaye that people seem to forget, his pen game, his writing game was magnificent. Because he was such a great singer, I think we look past the fact that he was a fantastic writer. And he was a really good producer. When you hear tracks of Michael Jackson, like when you hear like a cappella tracks of Michael Jackson and he's singing like Off the Wall, and it's like Michael just, he's singing the vocals and the background vocals. He took that from Marvin Gaye. Like if you listen to those Marvin Gaye tracks, he's saying the vocal and the background vocal. And that was back when he was like, what, late 60s, early 70s when he was starting to do that stuff. Marvin Gaye production, Marvin Gaye writing is magnificent. And he's saying that song with Tammi Terrell. And the big difference between Marvin and Tammy's version versus Luther and Cheryl's version. From a musicality standpoint, Luther and Cheryl's version, I think, is better just from the music. The music is broader, is more up to date. Both songs are beautiful, but it's a broader sound. The Marvin and Tammi version, it's a Motown song. I mean, it has a distinct Motown feel to it, which is nothing wrong with it. A Motown track is wonderful, but I just like the updated, broader sound of what that Luther and Cheryl did. On the flip side, however, the way that Marvin and Tammi sang that song together, you felt like they were a real couple. And my parents saw them in concert, like back in the day. And even though they were really close, they weren't a couple, because I think Tammi Terrell was with David Ruffin, I think. I can't remember. But she was with one of the Temptations. So, you know, they didn't work together, but the way when you see pictures of Marvin Gaye and Tammi Terrell, when you see them perform together, there's a love there. Marvin loved Tammi Terrell. He loved Tammi Terrell. And maybe he loved her as a sister. Maybe he loved her because he was with Anna Gaye. He was married to Berry Gordy's sister. So maybe he just kind of like, man, I really like her, but, you know, I'm married to the boss's daughter. But whatever. But when Tammi Terrell died, man, like my parents said, it broke him because he loved Tammi Terrell so much. So you see the chemistry between Marvin and Tammi. I don't see the chemistry as much between Luther and Cheryl, but when you listen to it just as a song, you feel that chemistry. And plus, this song reminds me of The Wood because the young man in the movie, you know, his infatuation in school was Melinda Williams from Soul Food. Because at that point, Melinda Williams was like 28 years old and still like she was like 16. And hey, if I was him and I was in love with Melinda Williams, I would have a hard time too. She was beautiful. So yeah, I was like, yeah, how you doing, girl? Yeah, oh man, I'd be all nervous inside. But I think because of that film, it reminds me of, the song overall just reminds me when I was in junior high school. It reminds me of asking a girl to dance in junior high school, which I never did. I've realized very early that I wasn't great with young ladies. I just loved from afar. It's like, you know what? I'm going to stay against the wall, but by that 8th song, I'll ask her to dance. And then lights come on. Oh, time to go, kids. Like, oh, damn it. It's so much easier being a DJ. I think that's why I became a DJ. I have to worry about asking a girl to dance because I'm by the DJ booth. So that's how that worked out. But it reminds me of the nervousness you have when you're in junior high school, middle school, when you're infatuated with a young lady, you want to ask her to dance, or you want to ask her out, you want to ask her to homecoming, or you want to ask her to prom, and you just don't know how to do it. Like, do me a favor, when you're done watching this, ask the coolest dude that you know, because it's not me. Ask the smoothest cat you know. It might be your dad, your uncle, your brother, you know, somebody. And ask them, was there ever a young lady that they were scared to talk to, or they were nervous around? Now, most of them say, nah, man, me nervous? Nah, bruh. I'm never nervous. And some cats are like that. They're just really, really great. They've been great with women since they came out of the womb. But you might catch one dude say, you know what, man? About 2nd grade, there was that one girl. He might not tell you the truth, but he'll give you that 2nd grade story. No, you know what? No, I'm sorry. That was 3rd grade. Oh, man. But yeah, that's why I love great duets. I miss a great duet. Like, we just don't get those nowadays. Like, I miss spending my life with you, with Tamia Eric Benet. I miss We Can't Be Friends with RL from NEXT and Deborah Cox. I miss Roberta Flack with Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack with People Rising. Like, I just miss hearing, even like Endless Love between Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. Like, I miss, because even though you know these people aren't together, they feel like they're together. Like, when you see that Spend My Life With You video with Eric Benet and Tamia, you actually feel like they were a couple. But at that time, like, Tamia was firmly with Grant Hill, and they're still married. And Eric Benet was probably getting with Halle Berry at that time. So they weren't even together, but the way they sang that song to each other, you felt like they were together. When you look at We Can't Be Friends with RL and Deborah Cox, you actually felt like they actually broke up. And it's too painful for them to be together. Like, I miss songs like that. And I don't know what it's going to take for them to bring it back. Like, her and Daniel Caesar had that song about 10 years ago. And that was a great love song. But I can't, there's very few great love songs sung by 2 great singers. Die of a Smile I love, but I don't put that in the same category. It's a great pop love song. But as far as like an R&B love song, it's very few. And it's very few as great as If This World Were Mine. So let me know, what's your favorite R&B love song? You know, it could be from today. It doesn't matter to me. But back in the day, if you had a great one that we should check out, let me know. Shout out to Red Luther Vandross.